Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you was called $1 Million Spaghetti. It's basically like a spaghetti lasagna. So I'm just going to start out with my ground beef. I have 1 pound of ground beef. I'm just going to brown this all up and then drain the excess oil. This meal was a Pinterest recipe or meal idea, so I will have the one linked down below. There's a couple different ways you can make this, but it was pretty easy. So next I'm just going to add in some garlic to the ground beef. These squeeze tubes definitely make me cringe. Next time I think I'm just going to buy the little jar with all of the minced garlic. I'm just going to stir that in and let the garlic start cooking, and then I'm going to add in my tomato sauce. I think this is a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. Going to stir that around and then add in a little bit of water. So next I'm going to work on seasoning the ground beef mixture. So I'm just going to use garlic powder, onion powder, some Italian seasoning, and some tomato bouillon. I'm also going to add just a little bit of sugar. I'm pretty sure that's what you're supposed to do with spaghetti sauce. Just going to stir this in and let it kind of simmer for a little bit. At the same time that I cooked this, I did have 1 full box of spaghetti cooking, boiling in some water, and I just drained that and we will start assembling. So for the video that I watched, I saw a girl kind of mix the spaghetti noodles with some cream cheese and some sour cream. I definitely should have softened the cream cheese a lot better before I did this. I think this just kind of gives the noodles a little bit of moisture and creaminess. So to start out with the casserole, I'm just going to lay a little bit of the sauce mixture on the bottom just so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to throw in all of the noodles, spread that out as evenly as I possibly can. And then I'm going to layer the meat sauce on top and then a lot of cheese. I also wanted to make sure I went around and poked the outside, the edges, just so the sauce can seep down and make sure everything is getting nice and coated and nothing's getting too dry. So the cheese that I'm going to use is Monterey Jack cheese. I feel like you can use any cheese, but I do like how this melts and kind of browns at the top. I'm also going to use a little bit of Italian seasoning and parsley flakes. So I baked this covered for about 20 minutes and then I broiled it right afterwards. This is how it looked when it came out. It looked super amazing. Definitely an easy weeknight meal. You can just have this for leftovers the next day. I just cooked some broccoli and a piece of garlic bread with it. So the next meal I'm going to be showing you, I made some chicken fajitas with some refried beans on the side. So I'm going to start out with my vegetables. I'm going to cut some bell peppers into small strips and a little bit of an onion. I swear this is like my favorite part of fajitas, is cutting and cooking these fajita veggies. So I'm going to use a green, bell, orange, and yellow, and then use some of a red onion. I just really love how colorful all of this looks together, and it cooked up and smells freaking amazing, like those fajitas that walk by at a Mexican restaurant and everyone's just looking because it smells so good. So next I'm going to season my veggies. A very important step, do not forget it. I'm going to just sprinkle a little bit of oil on top with some lime juice, and then I'm going to use my taco seasoning, some cumin, and some onion powder. I genuinely get so excited to season and cook fajita veggies. So to a pan, I added a little bit of oil, let that heat up, and then I add in the veggies. I like to turn my pan on a little higher than medium. That way it kind of helps the bell peppers not get soggy. It kind of just evaporates all the liquid. So I'm just going to cook these up until they're nice and softened, but not fully soggy. I literally die over the smell of this. So next I'm going to work on cooking the chicken. I usually don't cook my chicken like this for fajitas, but you know how it is when you forget to take the chicken out of the freezer before you go to work. So it was kind of still a little frozen on the inside. So I just cooked it like this to make sure all of it got cooked. So then I just sliced up the chicken. This is how everything looked when it was done. I just topped it with some sour cream and then some salsa. The last dinner I'm going to be showing you, I just made some easy, spicy Szechuan chicken kebabs and some white rice. So I just used the remaining bell peppers I had from the fajitas, and I just chopped them up into small chunks like squares. That way I can stick the kebab through. So I'm just going to do the same thing with part of the red onion. So next for the chicken, I'm just going to cut it up into some small cubes as well. Good thing I remembered to take the chicken out. I am cutting the chicken a little bit bigger than I would with like pasta or something like that, just because you want there to be enough to stick through. So then I'm going to lightly season the chicken with some salt, some garlic powder, and some onion powder. So then I just made all the kebabs. It was a little tedious process, but it was actually kind of fun. So I'm just going to make 4 kebabs. That was plenty. And then I just drizzled some soy sauce on top and marinated them. So I just went ahead and browned these on my new griddle that I got as a wedding gift. I realized that I wasn't going to be able to cook all of this all the way through, so I just browned it and then I stuck it in the oven to cook the remainder of the chicken. This was honestly kind of fun. I wish I had like a charcoal grill that I could have just barbecued these on, because I felt like that would have worked way better. So once they were hot, I just drizzled some spicy Szechuan sauce on them and let that kind of soak in, and then I just served this with some rice. This is how it looked when it was done. I honestly loved this meal. It was just super healthy and light. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.